And the cricket stopped chirping just in time for...
Oh,
there it
you're
is.
there.
Okay, well, welcome back, crickets.
Good sound check.
So, we passed the time discussing our next move, and before we know it, it's past midnight.
Yay.
Kohaku is, or Hisui is
Yeah,
standing
Hisui.
outside at home, waiting in the cold.
Yeah.
もう日付が変わっちゃったね。今夜はここでお別れにしましょう。明日もよろしくね、シキ。
まあ、一日で終わることじゃないしな。待ち合わせ場所はここで、時間は今日と同じでいいか。
I'll come pick you up at your house.
Oh my god, please don't.
ええ、一日も待つのは退屈だけど、シキにはまだシキの生活が
Wait
ある
the
もんね。
whole day.
邪魔はできないわ。
You sure you don't want to just ditch school and your family and come live with me?
Right. We've got Ark waiting for us. We've got Hisui waiting for us.
We've got CL, who wants to have a few words.
Yeah, maybe.
Ark flashes me a brisk smile, then leaps clean out of the park. She sure knows how to make an exit.
って感心してる場合じゃない。俺も早く戻らないと。
If I leave my room empty for too long, someone's gonna realize I've snuck out.
Assuming they haven't already.
I rush back to the mansion as fast as I can, knowing there's a good chance I'm already too late. Then I get attacked on the way back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait. No. We killed the other Shiki.
Yeah, no, he's dead now.
Huh.
It's well past midnight by now. The lights in the mansion are all out. Hisui standing out front, looking cold. I bypass the main entrance and slip in through the service door at the west wing.
The service entrance. Oh, to avoid the big, heavy main door, I guess.
When I left, I used the same exit, and luckily it's still unlocked.
Very lucky, yes.
Hisui and Kohaku's rooms are in the west wing, so...
Does Kohaku live?
I thought Kohaku was in the east wing next to the kitchen, was where she lived.
We'll have to look at the map when we open that book later.
So I tipped on my way in to avoid waking them. Yeah, I could swear from that time we went to go watch TV in Kohaku's room.
Yeah,
That it described her room as being like right next to the kitchen on the east wing in a part of the house where only she lived.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like, I could...
Does she have 2 rooms?
I could swear that that's how they described it.
Huh.
A sigh of relief escapes my lips as I sit down on my bed. Bio, fact check me. Fact check me and let me know on Discord. It's gonna drive me crazy. All the walking I've done tonight must have exhausted me. Feels like the mattress is sucking me in. Again, I'm working with Ark. Fate just keeps dragging me back into her blast radius. Which I very nearly misread as breast radius.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, that too, but...
仕方ないよな。放っておけないんだから。
Or maybe I don't want to. I mean, maybe I'm drawn to her in all her beauty and all her inhumanity and all her hot blonde Europeanness. Yep. I feel a brief twinge of pain in my head, like being stabbed with a needle.
Is that your eyes again?
And then suddenly Ciela is standing in the room.
Yeah.
That's odd. This headache felt different from the ones I've had before.
That is odd.
Rather than a pang of pain, it was a pang of... guilt? What do I have to be guilty about? Like I'm rebuking myself for being so foolish as to think of her as beautiful. Slowly, I close my eyes. Sleep takes me over, a giant hand pulling my body and my consciousness into a deep darkness. As I fall helplessly into darkness, I try to recall why that would be foolish, but my thoughts disintegrate before I can. Can't sleep.
Well, shit.
I must have too much on my mind. Too many things to think about. Closing my eyes throws my thoughts into sharper relief. What? Sorry? And now that I'm awake, I won't be able to fall back asleep anytime soon.
Guess you're gonna be sleep deprived tomorrow.
Giving up, I roll out of bed. Might as well do some reading. Put on my jacket to stay warm and search through my belongings. Unfortunately, I can only find books that I've already read, but I'm just killing time anyway, so I don't need anything new. I moved to the adjoining room holding a book I've read many times over. This dialogue feels very familiar.
Oh, yeah. He read in there before because he couldn't sleep.
It's nice to have a room just for reading. Sinking into the chair, I flip through the pages.
Uh-huh.
First emotion I ever felt, of all things, was pity. Not anger, not despair. It seemed that everything I laid my eyes upon was miserable. The most miserable of all, of course, being myself. He was born at the end of the 15th century.
Love?
Roa?
Yeah, maybe.
The child of a wealthy family, he received the best education money could buy and grew up healthy in both mind and body. A benevolent soul, he reviled corruption, avoiding any and all vices. Those around him regarded him as a child prodigy and believed without a doubt that he would bring them great prosperity. However, he defied his parents' wishes for him to inherit their lands, and instead setting his eyes on the doors to the house of God.
Yeah, this seems like Roa.
In this age, the corruption of the church was at its height. The greed of the powerful had infected its roots, and the fruit had nearly fallen from the tree. Priests were offering spots in heaven for a small sum of money, and some guy got really pissed and nailed a piece of paper to a door.
Yeah, right about that era, huh?
His parents were disappointed, but nonetheless gave him their blessing to follow his aspirations. In the hope, perhaps, that he could excise the corruption that had spread throughout the land. By all rights, it would be impossible for a single man with no patron to change the world. But
With a patron.
with the Einsburn Castle,
No.
he passed through many cities, befriended many people, watched many new developments come to fruition. Throughout all this, he arrived at the same single conclusion: that building looks like it's melting.
Looks like a photograph with like a
But
a filter, almost like they to
Yeah.
make it look painted.
but done really poorly, and
Well, it's supposed to look like hand painted, not like an actual photograph, you know?
I don't know. It just looks sloppy to me.
I can't really tell what's going on with it.
I'm sure it wasn't because Type Moon, but I get the same sort of feeling from it as I do with some AI generated stuff where I'm like, this just doesn't look correct, you know? Like there's something off with it, but human beings are magnificent. Of all the Lord's creations, they are the most superior. They may be weak, frail, noisy, irredeemable creatures, but their sole redeeming quality outweighs all their ugliness.
For as long as humans exist, they are compelled to search for meaning. In this, he saw the Lord's design.
He met new people on a near daily basis.
Okay.
Residents of the city, visitors to the city,
Mhm.
foreigners of the city. He
Yeah.
welcomed them all.
Yeah.
He found joy in learning about the life of every stranger he spoke with. In each and every person's life, there is a truth to be learned. Just one.
Oh, just one.
Only one truth. Many of those lives were unremarkable. Many were even reprehensible. But none were without meaning. He endeavored to know as many humans as he could.
Okay.
His compatriots laughed at him, saying 10 people was
Wow. What a bunch of shut-ins.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I feel like 10 people is plenty of people. Why do you need more than 10 people? His teachers chided him, bidding him to stop at 100. I mean, listen, 100 seems like a perfectly reasonable amount of friends to want to make in high school specifically.
Sure.
Right? Right? Like, I feel like setting a goal of like 100 friends at start of high school, and then making a book and just writing them all down
writing
as you
them all
go.
in it.
It seems like the way to do it, you know?
But the clergy praised him and encouraged him to know 10,000. Presumably not very well, just like know of them.
No, you have to be on like a first name basis, like know the wife and kids with all 10,000 of these people. Go over to their house every Sunday, all 10,000 of them.
10,000 full-on social links.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you get like what 20 and change of them in Persona, right?
Yeah, start.
Only one foresaw the hell that lay ahead of him. His closest friend. Just as his friend had warned, around the time he had carefully recorded 1,000 lives, he ran up against a wall. That's not to say that he lost heart, because they were uninteresting or inconsequential. If anything, it was the opposite. He wanted to know more. 1,000 people, 2,000 people wouldn't suffice. He must collect more and more truths. But still, it wouldn't be enough. It would never even be close to enough. Even should he befriend someone new every day by the age of 60, he would still not have met everyone in the city.
Yeah, when there's that many people.
Especially when people keep being born.
Yeah, exactly.
But even worse, humanity was growing in number. The world would only keep expanding. New possibilities would be born with every passing day. Why must humans be afforded so little time?
There we go. He just needs more time is all.
He looked back on his life and saw that from the day he was born, he had never known personal happiness. Those around him called him a child prodigy, but they were mistaken. He was a man of exceedingly average talent.
Average talent, huh?
Kazuma?
Well, I mean, Shiro's considered average talent-wise.
Well, Shiro...
He doesn't really excel at anything innately.
Well, no, but he does have an above-average number of magic circuits.
No, pretty sure he was average at that, too. And they weren't especially high-quality ones, either.
No, he just wasn't trained right. Like,
Well, I mean, he wasn't trained right, but even
he did actually have an above-average, amount of magical circuits. Like,
I don't remember that.
His quality as a mage was technically above average. It's just he wasn't trained, so he was shit at everything except for projection. And
Well, yeah, it's like the one thing because, and even that wasn't like innate. It's because of Kiritsugu putting Avalon in him.
right,
So, as far as his natural abilities, he really was just nothing special. That's why he had to work his ass off for everything.
except for in Heaven's Feel.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Heaven's Feel, he was just handed a MacGuffin on
Yeah,
it.
I know.
If people's abilities were quantified numerically, the total value of his would be different, or no different to anyone else's. However, his parameters would display a dramatic skew.
Oh?
He was far less concerned with the inner workings of people than he was with those of the world. While he was fascinated with the aggregate, he possessed no capacity to love the individual. While he strove tirelessly for higher understanding, he lacked any worldly ambition. While he looked constantly to the future, he was unable to appreciate the present. In other words, he was extraordinarily inhuman. But even then, he remained a man of incomparable virtue. He loved the values that humans held dear, the lives led by the virtuous. His faith was more fervent than anyone else's. While he was unable to reform the religious world by himself, it would only be fair to concede that he did inspire change.
Alright.
For while his love of humanity stifled his love for people, and while he eventually strayed from the path, for a time he was nothing less than a living saint.
Did he perform 3 miracles? Or was he just a really good person?
This story dates from before he began his study,
Uh-huh.
when he was yet a child. His mind was mature, which is why, even as a child, he refused to accept that any mystery he encountered lay beyond his reach. For the boy who understood the whole of society, there was no such thing. Rain, clouds, even ghosts all had rational explanations. To him, the only true mystery was that which mankind as a whole could not decipher. that which others would accept as just the way it is. The unexplained was the last refuge of his childish innocence, and his fervor for it shone like a star, brighter by far than the ordinary passions of youth. Consequently,
私は今でも覚えている。父の目を盗んで一夜だけの旅に出たあの時間。高く高く。何の支えもなく私を見つめてい
The moon, I guess?
た。あの
Yeah,
石の
makes
真
sense.
さ。
the white disk gleaming in the sky, the clouds that obscured it. What is that? What is its purpose? How does it exist?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you stop taking it at face value, you're like, how come that thing doesn't just fall on us?
Right, yeah.